Folks, we're so fucking back. The people at Bluebird Team actually did it. They managed to make a remake on the same vein as the RE4 remake, where the game improves on things that I didn't even know I wanted from the original game. I'm doing this video after finishing my first playthrough that lasted around the 13-hour mark, which is amazing, but it will be a bitch to go through in subsequent play. I want to make this video now with my pure emotions after finishing the game, and as you can tell, I'm so happy to say that Bluebird Team knocked it out of the park with this one. The game is amazing, and while not being superior to the original, in my opinion, it's a game that managed to surprise me with the intelligent decisions made by Bluebird Team to improve in some of the aspects of the original, like the boss fights for example, which I won't show them of course, but they're such an improvement that it's a genuine struggle not to talk about them. The atmosphere, like I said in my previous video, is breathtaking. The fog, the attention to detail, like the building interiors and the whole aesthetic of the town is just so good, man. The main portions, like the Woodside apartments or the hospital, are expanded in a way that makes the whole process of exploring them far more interesting and more anxiety-inducing due to the higher threat that the enemies provide. The combat against these enemies have been improved as well, and while not liking it at first, I got to admit I'm a sucker for the original combat. I got used to it and to the enemy's new behavior during combat. For example, the mannequins on this game do not fuck around. Compared to the original, they are relentless and they are so fucking intense that I dig it so much. The other enemies also have trick on their sleeves, but that's up to y'all to discover. The soundtrack, as it's known, the absolute GOAT, is back on the series, and what a return. Holy shit! The new arrangement, the remixes, and the new tracks are really good, and they accompany a lot of the moment-to-moment gameplays almost perfectly. Obviously with a few audio bugs here and there, because of course a technically flawless game is impossible these days. Some of the new versions of classic tracks are amazing, and I personally prefer them over the original, like New Moon or True, which are absolute bangers yet again in a new light that makes them stand out amazingly. And while other tracks like Promise are different and I honestly still prefer the original, they aren't bad at all and some might like them more, but unfortunately I wasn't one of them. I say this to show that not everything was better than the original in this remake to me. But unfortunately, I won't be able to say much without getting into spoiler territory, which is something I want to avoid with this video because this is for those that are looking for feedback to whether or not buy this game. And finally, we get to the most important aspect of the game, the story. I fucking love. For those who don't know, Silent Hill 2 is one of the pieces of media I hold most dearly close to my heart, on the same group as things like Berserk, Black Lagoon, The Sopranos, because of how they accompany me during my formative years. And Silent Hill 2 is actually the oldest of the bunch. I played this back in 2007 on my PS2 with my brother's copy, and while not being the appropriate game for a 7-year-old to play, it changed my life. So believe me when I tell you that this story means the world to me. And what can I say? They actually did it! The absolute GOATs at Bluebird Team did it! While the story keeps a lot of the same story beats, downright copying the dialogue verbatim, some of the new moments are definitely a highlight, in part thanks to the cutscene direction, which is amazing, and it actually enriches the visual narrative that the original lacked in its cutscenes. These moments also allow us to see interactions that give James a little more depth, which is awesome because I think they can help make the audience be a little more sympathetic towards him and not be seen as bland as he was for many people in the original. There's also new moments that I think will become iconic for the future of the franchise, but those are for the future review, which, I gotta be honest, it will take a while to make, so don't expect it any soon though. Overall, even with my optimistic approach, Bluebird Team actually managed to surprise me with this game, putting their whole effort into this game and it shows. We definitely should be looking at what they do with close attention because maybe they will surprise us next time. Who knows, really. I'm actually glad I gave them a chance, and well, after Konami's bullshit behavior throughout the years, and after a decade of silence and the cancellation of Kojima's Silent Hill project, I can finally say Silent Hill is back, baby.